Dear colleagues, welcome to Take 5 with OncoAlert. And today we are thrilled to have our wonderful friend, colleague, and OncoAlert faculty member, Tom Powles, joining us from an incredible ESMO 24. Hi, Tom. Welcome, and thank you for joining us.
Gil, thank you for inviting me. I'm looking forward to chatting to you.
As many of you know, ESMO 24 was an incredible meeting. Tom presented the groundbreaking data from the NIAGARA trial on perioperative durvalumab with neoadjuvant chemotherapy in operable bladder cancer. This was accompanied by a simultaneous publication in the New England Journal of Medicine, and the trial has been described in one key way, practice-changing. Tom, since we're fortunate to have you with us, albeit virtually, could you provide us some background and walk us through the trial design?
Yeah, thanks. So, in urothelial cancer, maybe the best way to cure patients is in this muscle-invasive space. That's T2 to T4A disease. A big patient population here. Neoadjuvant chemotherapy followed by cystectomy has been the standard of care for a long, long time. What we tested here was whether giving immune therapy with durvalumab during that neoadjuvant period and during the adjuvant period for a total of a year could improve the overall survival, the event-free survival, and also look at pathological complete response. So we endeavored to do 1,000-patient, a really big study, to answer this question. And in the control arm, standard chemotherapy, 4 cycles of Gemcis. The study showed the patients were well balanced. It was 1,000 patients between the two groups. About 85% of patients were able to go on and have the cystectomy, the surgery. We were worried it might be lower than that. It was an open label trial, but we didn't show big biases, big imbalances between the two groups. And then about 70% of patients went on to get that adjuvant period of immune therapy. So the study was well balanced. Lots of patients got the right procedures at the right time, and we were really pleased with the robustness of the data. When we looked at the event-free survival rate, we showed a hazard ratio of 0.68, which was statistically positive, obviously. But also we showed an overall survival hazard ratio of 0.75 with a 25% reduction in the risk of death. The path-CR wasn't statistically significant, but there was a 10% bounce in path-CR rate from 27 to 37%. The safety profile was actually very balanced in the two arms. The CTC criteria for adverse events are mainly chemotherapy focused. So it shouldn't, they don't identify those quite rare immune-related side effects. So I'm not suggesting for a second that durvalumab's not associated with adverse events, but it's quite difficult to identify those when you measure CTC criteria because they're very focused on chemotherapy. But nevertheless, it appeared, really, in fact, more patients got the cystectomy in the durvalumab arm than the control arm. So I don't think it complicated surgery or the chance of getting surgery at all. Treatment-related deaths, less than 1%, and then 41% grade 3 or 4 adverse events in the two arms. So overall, I think, it's fair to say that the safety profile was pretty compelling. We showed a significant improvement in event-free survival, a significant improvement in overall survival. The shape of the Kaplan-Meier curves, they went apart and they stayed apart, which was attractive. The safety signals really didn't show anything new or exciting. The surgery was safe. And so this is the first perioperative trial to report showing EFS, and it showed EFS and OS. But it's also the first immune therapy study in muscle-invasive urothelial cancer to show an overall survival advantage. And while cross-trial comparisons in the neoadjuvant adjuvant space, it's different patient populations and different criteria, and different patients going in and different ways of measuring EFS, I think it's striking that this neoadjuvant approach with the perioperative adjuvant period is performing so well because we've seen data from melanoma in the NADINA trial showing this neoadjuvant period is important. And I think it's conceptually changing because now instead of patients saying, you've got to get the chemotherapy, then the surgery, then maybe you get adjuvant immune therapy, particularly in Europe, only in the PD-L1 positive population, I think the concept changes and you say now you get the immune therapy up front. And maybe that's the best way of getting long-term control and then surgery. And there are trials coming around the corner as well with different combinations, EV Pembro and others, and they may be practice changing, EV Durva-Tremi. they may be even better. And so this could open a huge new chapter in this disease. And I hope in the future, I hope we may even stop doing cystectomies, and we may be able to have cystectomy sparing approaches with systemic therapy and improving curing the disease. And that's why I'm so excited.
Well, thank you, Tom. Indeed, incredible results from Niagara. Tom, given that oncology social media reaches out to a diverse audience, could you explain the clinical implications of this trial in the simplest possible way?
Yeah,
And as a follow-up, hold on, are there upcoming trials in this population that you're particularly excited about?
Yeah, so I realize I gabble a lot and I apologize. For the general oncology audience, I think it's fair to say that in lung cancer and in breast cancer, we've seen immune therapy move into this surgical setting successfully. I think to date, there's been a real debate about that in bladder cancer with these adjuvant trials, some positive, some not positive, some PD-L1 label, some. I think this is the first time where you can say we've done a big study. It's come in with a significant survival signal, and therefore I think it's going to globally establish this neoadjuvant chemotherapy and durvalumab, followed by adjuvant durvalumab, as the standard of care and the best way of improving survival in our patients.
Thank you so much, Tom. And congratulations once again on the fantastic work. We sincerely appreciate everything you do for our patients and for advancing the field.
Thanks for asking me. It was real fun.